Girl, you've learned that people-pleasing doesn't work. You have a purpose, a plan to achieve, and a point time for your passion projects. You finally value your thoughts and ideas. Now you're putting them into action. Mom guilt is in a box where it belongs. You care for those who need you completely, except that you've made yourself a priority too. Being creative and focused helps you get your zest for life. You, my friend, you think enriched. Hey, welcome to Think Enriched. I'm your host, Amy Robles. So glad to have you on this episode. I think this is one of the most critical things we need to talk about. It's super important, and it just seems like we as women don't give ourselves enough time to invest in ourselves. We're going to talk about today what investing in yourself means, how are some ways that you can get started in just small snippets, and what to look for when you're looking for a great opportunity to invest in yourself. All this and more on this episode of Think Enriched. Get that in your purse. If this is your first time listening, we break this show up into different segments. Right now, we're going to do that magical tool, that little gadget, that's something that just helps you shine in what you're doing every day. The tool we're going to talk about today is the email that comes to you directly from me. It's called 5 Minutes for You. I've left a link in the show notes where you can find that directly and get signed up and find out what's happening in the business, where we're headed, what goals we're working on. This is just a little personal thing to find out, man, what's working? What went well today? Sometimes at the end of the day, the best thing you can do is pick up the phone and call a friend and really just have that conversation. This is my way reaching out to you, making that phone call and having that conversation get started. And I love it when you take the time, send me an email in response, and we can have that conversation. I'm so delighted to be able to share this with you. Take a minute and consider signing up for 5 Minutes for You. Speak the lingo. This is the portion of the show where we talk about specifically a different term each week. You want to be able, as a business owner, to use the right term to express what you want to have happen, how you want to move forward. That's what this portion of the show is all about. This week's term is invest. A lot of times when you're talking about investing, it's about investing so your financial situation improves, improving your overall financial portfolio. Clearly, that's important. It's also very important to invest in yourself. So I just jumped into the dictionary looking at it. Of all the definitions, two stood out quite a bit for me. First is to use, give, or devote your time or talent, so and so on, as for a purpose to achieve something. So if you take the time to study that course, to finally learn Japanese, to be able to play the accordion, whatever it is, if you understand what you're doing right now to learn that skill, that's going to be able to help you down the road. Now, clearly I gave some random examples, but maybe you take that time to actually go down to the community college and figure out how to use Photoshop. Not just clip around and, paste your face on somebody else's body and make it look hilarious, but you really use that how to set the elements and the design components and make your website and your social media and everything shine beautifully and really give yourself that polished look. Maybe you take the time to really tap into the Korean-speaking market in your neighborhood. My husband grew up in an area where everyone either spoke Spanish or Vietnamese as their primary language. Secondary was English. And every time we go back home, you'll see the corner shops where it is taco shop, delicious Vietnam sandwich shop, taco shop, Vietnam grocery market. And it's such a fascinating thing to me that those two markets haven't crossed over and tapped into each other, learned each other's language to connect. Just think about how much of an investment that would be, how worthwhile that really could be. The other definition that really stood out to me is to furnish or endow with a power, a right, authority, or rank. Learning the skills, taking time to really dive in and learn something, make yourself better. Not only are you spending a little bit of time today and you can see a little bit how that works, but that's how we progress as humans, little by little, step by step. That's why it's so important to invest in yourself. Today's term, invest. All right, in this portion of the episode, this is the focus of today's show. We've been talking about the rich framework. I have a graphic for you to see and just go through what it means to live a rich life. Last time we talked about living a rich life really isn't about your financial situation. Sure, that definitely helps. But it's also about the quality of relationships. It's about where you're progressing. It's about having that fullness and abundance of your life in all facets. Today we're talking about the letter I, which is all about investing in yourself. Now, before we jump in, clearly, there's a couple of caveats here. First of all, your most valuable resources are here in order. First, time. Time is clearly limited. You've got to make sure that you're using the time to the best of your abilities. And if that means taking an hour off and doing nothing while you watch Scandal this evening, I ain't mad at you. If that's going to soothe your soul, then absolutely enjoy. Number one to consider is your resource of time. The other resource, your second most top priority, is your energy. How much time do you have to really put into a project? If you're looking at something starting new and you really want to learn Japanese finally, then do you have the energy? Are you going to learn just conversation? Are you really studying the kanji and how to be able to write beautifully and be able to articulate your thoughts and emotions through written word? You've got to determine your energy. And third, this is always after your time and your energy. Another resource to consider is the finances. The money that you're going to have to invest in order to improve. Is this a college class that you just want to audit? Is this a class you really want to jump into? Is this an online course and you've been thinking, well, there's 3 different opportunities to this course, but I really need the maximum? Or is it possible you could slow down and say, you know what, I'm not sure how much time I can invest to this. I'm going to start with this basic level on the course. And if down the road I can see how this could be really valuable, I'd like to jump in and do even more. Those are the 3 caveats to consider. Next, be sure to find ways that you can maximize those resources. You're not going to be able to get more time. You can work on improve more your energy level, and working hard, you can make more money. You want to find ways to maximize those resources. Smart budgeting is more than just where do the numbers match in the finances. It's about figuring out time in those specific hours that are working for you that have really been helpful. So a few ideas to consider investing in yourself are read more books and read a variety of books. I get consumed in the personal development field and the business books. And sometimes I stay away from the book clubs that are reading the girly books, the girly girl books, I would call them, or the deep brain candy novels just as an escape. And I can see that I need to read more of the other genres just to really let my mind explore areas. That's so important to me. Second, maybe you could make time to learn a new language or a coding program, or try a new stitch. Every time you are learning, not only are you using your hands to do something in the creative process, using your mind and really investing and learning new techniques is so good for your brain and your whole body and soul. You could also create something new or something in a totally new form for you. If you are fantastic at doing online scrapbooking, something I'm really learning a lot about, maybe it's time to make a tangible, actual tactile scrapbook, because the new techniques, different things to learn, is just importing and putting so much more new into your life. Consider also working with a new tutor, a mentor, or a coach in your field, and find one that not only do you like, but that coach that really pushes you to stretch, that focuses on not only where you are, but you see from point A to point D. Your coach sees way down the line to point H, I, or J, but they're only telling you that much. They're really looking even farther down the way. Those are the kind of mentors and coaches you want to be spending your time and your resources with. Finally, you want to be able to, when you're looking at a project or looking at something you want to invest in, think about what's happening today. What is it you're working on today? Also, how is this going to affect you tomorrow? Is this something you'd like to learn to apply to your business? Is this something you want to learn just for the absolute brain candy, just to take a break and let your mind breathe? These are all things to consider while you're looking for opportunities to invest in yourself. I can't wait to hear what you come up with. I'm really excited to see different ways that we as women take time to invest in ourselves. That's why today we have Invest in Yourself as today's focus. Hey, thanks for listening. If you love the show and you want to tell someone about it, take a minute, go to iTunes and leave a rating and review. That's the best way we can tell more women how they can live their rich life. Have a great week. Shine on. And finally, here's the blooper reel for this week's episode. And ladies, that's why we have, you're welcome to put it on the Facebook page, thinkinrich.com. You can find that at facebook.com/. You can find the page at thinkinrich.com/ oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Was that a burp? No way. Whoa.